Um, Hello to everyone watching. I just want to talk about my experience with child child abuse. Sorry. Um, it's really strange. I mean, with my family in my life, because on the outside, we've always been talking about my family. We've always been almost this perfect family. And I mean, my mom has been a really good mom for most parts. When I was little, I had a really good upbringing with no violence and nothing like that. But then, when I got a teenager, and I'm 20 years old now, I went through a really tough time. I moved to school, and I was very unhappy. I think it was, the saddest time of my life. I was really just unhappy and depressed because I didn't fit in, or I was very unhappy about my looks and all these, typical teenage stuff. And at the time, I felt like I was, really just begging for help, but I didn't get any. And during this time, my father became very distant. He would never show any interest in my life. And he just became very distant from me, and I didn't feel like I could talk to him about stuff. I mean, he was more focused on work and, his hobbies. And I was very frustrated during this time because, I was very unhappy. And I didn't feel like I got any help, so I became, just became very angry over, the stupidest thing. Looking back, I do realize I got mad over some pretty stupid stuff. But it was all really because I was very unhappy. And I think I overreacted a lot of times to try to get my parents' attention in a way. But then when we'd argue, it would get very heated sometimes, to a point where I would call my parents names, say that I hate them, and, even though I didn't. I didn't up until the point where I think I yelled at my father, and I said that he wasn't a good father and he was never there for me, and then I said that I hated him, and then he would hit me. He would slap me, and I felt so angry. The anger that I felt, I just can't describe it. And my mom was there watching, and she was yelling at me while, he would slap me, and I just felt so betrayed. Like, I really felt betrayed, and I didn't, from that moment on, I just became even more angry. And, I mean, from that point on, it just got really crazy. And I was doing very bad in school, and uh, all the things that I mean, at school, I've always been a very um, friendly person. Always been very almost too friendly, not really thinking too much about myself. You know, I always want to make sure that everyone else is feeling good. So at school, I was this very, I was always the one who would solve other people's problems, and people would come to me if my friends, if they had any problems, and I would always listen. Um, but no one really knew what was going on in my life because I had so much uh, positive, I guess, energy when I was with them, and you wouldn't have guessed any of the things that were going on in my house um, at all. But when I came home, because even though I was helping these people and talking to them and listening to their problem, I just felt I was very unhappy. Like, I was very unhappy. And then when I came home, I would, you know, take it out on my parents. Um, just, it was, you know, stupid. But anyway, then everything just escalated. I mean, I think we would fight probably, I'd say, every night, and I would cry myself to sleep every night, and the beatings would go on, and it went from my dad would hit me, and then my mother, at first she would watch and yell, and not do anything, and then later on she would push me as well, and I would push her back, and I would yell the most horrible things. I mean, I was no angel. I'm not gonna lie. I would call them very mean things, which is totally out of my nature. Um, so what was so weird was whenever I was home, I was just really angry at my parents. I was very I was always having an attitude towards them because in the back of my mind, I really just felt like they had let me down. But at school, I was this very happy person. Well, not happy, but I was there for people. Um, I was always very good at hiding, my true feelings. But, I mean, up until this day, I mean, the things that my parents have done, I don't think I could forgive them. My father would beat me, and a lot of times, uh, I would have bruises on my arms or in my face or on my neck. And when people would ask me what it was, I would always come up with excuses, oh, I fell or something. I had to lift something at work. I don't know. I came up with these weird excuses, but I mean, I think some of my friends might have known, but they I don't. I mean, I don't really know. But and then in the back of my mind, I started to just tell myself that it was normal, um, that these things would occur because those things just happens in families. You know, you do something wrong, you get slapped, and that's just, I mean, that's just how it is in every family. And I started really just trying to just make it seemed like it was normal in my head, the things that were going on. And it just got worse and worse, and I mean, there's only one, I mean, I don't know why I haven't told. I mean, I actually have some very good friends, and I don't know why I haven't told them. I've only told one of my friends, um, and I think it was a night where everything just escalated, and I got uh, beaten really bad by my father, and I just said, screw this, and I'm done living here. And I called my friend crying um, in the middle of the night, and she was really, really shocked to hear me that way because I don't really show much emotion usually. So when I called her crying, she was very shocked, and I just told her my dad what my dad had done, and I needed to get away. And she told me immediately that you know I could come and stay at her house. And then I said, but you know, what are your parents gonna say? And she just said, I think I gotta tell them what's been going on. And I was like, oh. Then at the back of my mind, I started thinking, oh no, what about police, and what if they're going to tell the police what's going on? I mean, I just don't want that to happen. I was kind of ashamed, and I just wanted us to still look like this happy family. But I came over, and she explained everything. I explained everything to her, and she explained it to her parents, and I got to stay there for like a week. And then my mother started to send me all these different texts, and I started just feeling really bad and guilty, and so I went back, and it just began all over again. And the things that has been going on in my house is unlike anything you could ever imagine. The thing with my dad is I haven't had a good relationship with him for the past 10 years. He's very, very distant, and I mean, he can be very funny and nice, and but what I think has made him turn into this kind of person is the fact that he smokes a lot of weed, like every night, and if he doesn't get it, he just turns into this very aggressive person. I just don't know what to do because I have said to my parents, I have looked my mom in the eye and said, how could you let this happen? How can you, why are there no consequences when you two hit me? How can you do this? Do you realize how much pain and insecurity it has caused me? And they just make it, and then they say, "Wait, then you shouldn't act the way you do," and I don't. And then I just feel bad and think, okay, maybe I deserved it, because I did call them names, and I did say stuff that wasn't nice. But just, I mean, I think the effect that not really having that father figure in my life has had on me is the fact that I crave male attention. And I have had an eating disorder because I wanted to look. I'm very much a perfectionist, and I wanted to look perfect, and you know, um, I really like the attention that I get from other males. Um, I just feel very neglected, and on one side, I love my family very much, and I couldn't be without them. Um, and on the other side, I just really hate them. It's really strange. I'm not sure I can ever really establish a normal relationship with my dad because whenever I talk to him, just, you know, a normal conversation, it's always in the back of my mind. Um, I just don't know what to do. I think I need help with my anger issues because I'm certainly not perfect. But I think they need to wake up and realize what they're doing is wrong, and they need to hear it from someone because they keep justifying what they're doing. I'm just tired of living this double life because I really feel like I am, and it's really making me crazy. I feel like I'm holding a lot of stuff inside that needs to come out. Um, I just really need your guys' advice. This was not even half of it, but thank you for watching, and I hope that you can help me.